Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of RedFoxComms. Today, we got a bit of a more serious episode, going over the Kwite allegations that have come out against another commentator, Kwite.
Yeah, Kwite is from that whole circle from, many years ago, right? Like the I'm Alex circle and all that. Isn't that?
Yeah.
The guys? I don't really know much about him. I'm not a Kwite fan or follower, but this has been making the rounds around Twitter recently, so...
Yeah, no, Twitter's been talking about it nonstop. I've actually met Kwite in person very briefly at VidCon, but it's not like anything really interesting happened. So,
yeah,
I don't have some crazy story of like, oh, I met Kwite at VidCon and he like looked at me weird
and he tried to grab my ass. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of like his content, I'm not as familiar with him, other than just he's a commentator.
Yeah.
But this allegation against an ex-girlfriend of his went extremely viral. I mean, everybody was covering this. The whole myth of commentary community members, engaging in sexual improprieties seems to be continuing with Kwite now, if true.
If true, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not going anywhere. Even if this is false, it's not going anywhere. We're gonna have another allegation in another month. It's gonna keep happening. But yeah, this is blown up. It's got 9 million views right now on Twitter, 70,000 likes, with tons of more people making videos on it. So we definitely need to take a look at this and see what this is all about. So I figure we should just give it a read.
Yeah, let's pull this shit up and open it. I never felt that I could come out about this, and I've struggled with this for years before writing this, and I doubt it'll be anything close of years after I write this that this will ever be released. But in the case that you are reading this, I have to come out and lay what has happened to me. I was raped by a man known as the YouTuber Kwite in February of 2018, and I had been in an extremely toxic friendship on and off with him since 2017. To start in the beginning, I had found Kwite's channel when it had less than 500 subscribers, and as a teenager, wanted to make art for him. Because he didn't use his face in his videos, I thought he would have an easier time if I drew him and recommended he wore sunglasses and a face mask instead of manually keying his face out with a black box.
Oh, so she came up with this whole, she's claiming she came up with this whole bit. I mean, that's everything he does, the mask and the sunglasses.
Which before COVID, by the way. So.
Yeah, he was following the following the guidelines way before they told us.
Yeah. There, I essentially came up with this Sona with him and drew various talk sprites for him for free that he only ever used once.
Okay.
Wow. We were around the same age and slowly began talking and bonding over shared mental health issues. At this time, I was undiagnosed with autism and borderline personality disorder, which I have diagnoses of now, and thus was unaware of how these would affect me in the coming relationship we had, and how he would, most likely without knowing, take advantage of me. Wait, most likely without knowing?
I think maybe they're trying to say because of the BPD that she's not really aware that she's being taken advantage of, or because of her autism, she's not aware that she's being taken advantage of.
Oh, from her perspective, not knowing.
Yeah, she doesn't know that it's happening, I think is what she's trying to communicate there.
Okay.
What's so weird about that paragraph is if you were bonding with anyone over your mental health issues, that's probably not a very good relationship from the start.
Probably not a good basis to start things off, but these are also children, you know what I mean? At the time. Well, I mean, I don't know. How old is Kwite? Okay, so Kwite is 22 right now. So yeah, this happened, 5 years ago? He was 17. So they were both kids when this happened.
Yeah.
Which is, you have to factor that into the equation here. I mean, we haven't gone into the meat of it yet, but I feel like that's an important detail to have in the back of your head while you're reading this story.
That's true.
At first, we were extremely close in ways that helped the both of us. He shared bits of his past and I shared mine. However, slowly my status as an artist would land me in more YouTube circles than his would, and he would slowly try to encourage me to let him join said spaces. As a friend, I, of course, wanted to include him in as many as I could, but as I did, and he made various connections outside of me, the relationship grew transactional. While I won't say I was the most stable person at the time, I was not actively unkind. I cannot say the same for him, however. When my abandonment issues would arise,
he would swoop in to save me and keep me under his thumb. He would yell at me or act passive-aggressive towards me when being my friend was inconvenient, but love bomb me when it was just us or if he needed something from me. He would use my memory issues against me to gaslight me about things he said and would keep most of the conversations he had on calls or on Skype because the messages delete after a set amount of time. He would actively talk about his new friends to me when he wanted me to do something for him, and it took up a great amount of my time. Okay. Eventually, we met in real life a few times. I had transphobic parents, so I told him my dead name to use only when my parents were talking to him. But after knowing this information, he would use it as a way to belittle me. The first meeting was fine, but he had a rule that I wasn't allowed to take any pictures of him, but he was allowed to take pictures of me.
Well, yo, dude, base.
That's
I mean, yo, I'm just kidding.
okay.
Anyway, we're
Seems a
being
little-
serious here.
Yeah. After promising and begging to take a few pictures that wouldn't and still haven't been posted for memories, he let me take a few before he left. Okay. So he folded eventually. The second meeting, however, was different. We had planned to meet up while he was on vacation in my city, and thus I would pick him up in my car and we would go to both a trampoline park and to go see Black Panther. This is where the worst of his behavior occurred. At this time, we were both on and off flirting and had discussed that if we were both single at this time, we would take each other's virginity. However, once he had come on to me in the backseat of my car, I started to get cold feet. He, however, did not want to take no for an answer.
Okay, so far has she verbally said no to him yet? Or
I think so. Yeah, I think she's implying that she's like, no.
Well,
I think it goes into it here a little bit more.
Okay.
In this next paragraph, it goes into exactly what happened. In the backseat of my own car, he raped me. All the while, I was telling him how it hurt and how I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me this is what you wanted as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit before going to join him in the movie we had planned to see together. And to make up, he had me buy him popcorn.
Wait, what? To make up?
I guess he probably got pissed at her for like not being into it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's usually what these kind of situations, the guy will be like, fuck you for not getting me off. You got to make this up to me now.
Yeah.
So that's probably what happened here. I don't know if this is true, of course, allegedly.
If true, alleged information.
I put the event out of my mind as just two virgins being bad at sex and hung out with him for the rest of the day, as he was still one of my closest friends. I have a video with him to prove we were together at that time that I was able to post only for myself after begging him to take pictures with me because we were friends. A few months later, once he has gained quite a few more subscribers and larger YouTube friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often, all while I was having a BPD episode. It got to the point where he called me to cut me off, and in our fight called me a dyke who thinks she's a boy and never will be.
Whoa.
Jesus. This extremely hurt me and caused me to spiral more. I almost needed to be institutionalized, but thankfully for my social support system, I wasn't. Months passed, and when I tried to come out about the emotional abuse I suffered, I received harassment from his fans. Wait, is there a previous statement about this?
I'm confused there. I don't know.
I received calls to my house to tell me to kill myself, farthering my poor mental health. Eventually, however, it subsided, and through a turn of events, I was able to set up a call to reconcile with him. In this call, he tried to gaslight me farther, claiming that I had led him on, or worse, assaulted him instead, all in front of a mediator who thankfully knew better than to believe him. In this call, he screamed at me, threw things, and broke things, and continued to try to gaslight me. However, thanks to Danny, Lord Bung, he calmed down and apologized for some of his behavior.
I know who that is.
However, oh really?
Yeah.
However, I don't believe he was sincere. So I'm confused about this because she says months later I received harassment from his fans. That to me reads like I have not heard about this before. That to me reads like there was some previous statement where she tried to go public and then everyone just shit on her.
Or she was like tweeting on an account, and we're probably misusing pronouns or whatever. It's not by intention, just to say that before all the comments start chewing us out.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, what I'm guessing happened here was this person started tweeting on Twitter, maybe about Kwite, implying that something horrible happened, and then people who are Kwite fans found these tweets by key searching Kwite's name or something, and then started giving him shit. But yeah, that does seem kind of weird, because I want to know, like, okay, what did you say exactly back then? When did you say this? What exactly happened? Because I thought this was the first time this person was coming out about their situation with Kwite, but it seems like this has actually been an ongoing issue, which prompted Kwite to even confront the person and call with a mediator, where he allegedly was throwing shit, screaming, and breaking stuff like an animal.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently, if this seems like there was a mediator there. I think Lord Bung, maybe that's who the mediator was. So, yeah, I mean, this is obviously not a lie. I mean, if it was a lie, it'd be so easy to disprove. I mean, Lord Bung would be like, this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Or, there's probably like Discord logs of it. That probably did happen. Now, whether or not it's about the rape or just maybe about she's just upset at him, I have no idea. We'll find that out, I guess, when Kwite responds and as the story develops. But yeah, it seems like there's certain things that they're claiming here that are definitely either very easily proven false or very easily proven true. So if they're lying, it's just like,
it should be pretty easy to work out. And Kwite is being very quiet about this and working on a response. And a lot of dummies on the internet will interpret being quiet when a serious allegations come out as like a sign of weakness or guilt, but that is just the dumbest logic in the world. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be just
it's not, yeah,
getting ready to come out with or he's talking to lawyers, maybe, if that's what that's the type of escalation he's going for.
Yeah, no, quietness is not a sign of guilt ever, but that doesn't mean that the person being quiet is or isn't guilty.
Yeah, it could be either way.
He could be guilty or not, but just because he's being quiet, that never means that you're guilty. That's why we have, the right to remain silent, et cetera, shit like that. I mean, you have time to gather yourself and to, not incriminate yourself. I mean, if he just is supposed to respond instantly, he might say things that aren't true. I mean, or he might like misword things or missay things that can be used against him. So he needs to, if this is not true, he needs to follow through with the appropriate steps. If it's true, he also needs to follow through with the appropriate steps and be like, this is what I'm going to do about it. Whatever. I mean, whatever the case is. So
yeah,
it's obviously appropriate to take some time and come back with a response. But I think he did say that he's going to make a response, right? Didn't he just say something just very, like right before we recorded this video, I think, actually?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have it here. Yeah, so this is Kwite on Discord as of like an hour ago when we've been recording this video. He said, been silent so far. Just wanted to say that I have not deactivated my Discord account because a lot of people are saying that. And then he says, my statement will be coming in the next few days.
Yeah, so I mean, unless this is fake, which I don't think it is. I've seen this circulating on Twitter in a couple places. Then yeah, it seems like Kwite has said that he's going to make a statement on it. I don't think he's deactivated his Discord account. I've heard, I might be wrong, I've heard he deleted his main Discord. Not his account, but his main Discord server. But either way, he's obviously just like, okay, I need to gather everything and come out with a statement on this.
Yeah, there's no, I'll say this about this tweet longer, not to immediately disqualify it, but there is no evidence submitted. And the person even talks about having evidence to at least prove that some events did happen, but not showing it for some reason.
I think the evidence is public now. They posted pictures from there. The thing is, though, the thing is, though, is that the evidence isn't necessarily proof of rape from what I've seen.
It's just proof that some things happened in the story.
It's proof that they talked, and it's proof that they were around during that time. That's the only thing. And, that's not to disqualify the claim, but that's just to say that there's not... It's really hard to have direct evidence of what she's claiming.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's impossible to say, like, unless you recorded it happening. I mean, like,
these types of conversations about like allegations or whatever are way too nuanced for the internet. So people will just hear us say things and be like, what? That's not true. When in reality, it's such a complicated situation here. So yeah, we got some screenshots here. Required. What are your family doing while we hang? This is, of course, the, girl. Well,
the victim.
The victim.
Yeah.
Right. If they are out, hotel room empty. This is from February 2nd, 2018. Kwite says, we'll see. Come on sheets. No good, bro. The looks part. Us meeting up is fine. They say, who can I tell we're dating to? Kwite says, if you trust them to keep it secret, I trust your judgment. Probably to keep it to people I know as well, though, unless you're really close with them, then I get it.
That's from 2017. That's like 6 months before the other, or 8 months before the sheets tweet message. So, okay.
Ooh, changing it or something? So these are the character stills, which then proves, they did draw character stills for Kwite. Here's his Discord.
So this is, I believe Jalen showed this is the alleged photos of Kwite and the victim. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see them down there.
From 2017 and February 2018. I think that's the video that they were talking about from the exact night that happened. So
there you go. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure yet if we're gonna blur that or not for the video, but there's just, I guess, photographic sort of evidence that's been provided that proves they had a relationship, at least in that videos were taken of them by them.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, so most of the things that they say in that tweet longer can be verified as true. I mean, obviously the call can be verified as true. Them being actually a real thing and talking to each other and hanging out can be true. Basically, the only motivation for this person to lie would be clout or for to defame them. So there has to be some sort of motivation.
Which are strong motivations.
Which there has to be that kind of motivation behind it. So we'll see as it develops, the story. I mean, we'll get to know more about this person. Kwite will make their response and you can make your own judgments. As of right now, all we have is their allegation just straight out the door. So obviously you can't really make a strong judgment either way. At least I can't, because this can happen really to anyone from her perspective. It can happen to anyone from his perspective. So I don't really know anything yet. But as the situation develops, we're obviously going to be paying attention. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, anyone that knows, I guess, my history in particular knows that I've covered a billion cases where YouTubers are horrible people and they get exposed, rightfully so. And there's situations where YouTubers get falsely accused. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
This, as of right now, this could be one or the other. This is the other thing too, and this is the last point I want to make, at least for this video. A lot of people on the internet kind of take these allegations very quickly, and they get really excited when these allegations come out, and they're like, "Oh shit, he's guilty. Fuck this guy." I mean, if you looked at the Kwite hashtag that went trending on Twitter, all of the tweets were basically calling for the end of Kwite's life, saying that it was over and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, all right, relax.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit, you know?
Yeah, this is a little bit more credible only because she's actually someone who's been with him. I would say like it's not like anyone.
We've seen many cases where
we've seen many cases,
I mean,
but I'm just my point is it's not like anyone can just type something up and immediately everyone thinks you're a rapist. But you also have to still take a step back and be like, yeah, well, just because she was with him, we have to wait. Let's let him respond. Let's hear both sides, and then we'll go from there because that's all you can really do.
I mean, yeah, you can't have photographic. You can't have a fucking camera like fucking taped to your fucking vagina to catch the rapist in his act, obviously. But yeah, like I said, we'll see. And the best way, honestly, in these types of situations that the public can figure out, it has to be a feelings-based thing because we'll never know the truth.
Yeah.
But the best way you can sort of figure out someone's guilt is how they respond.
And also there could be a whole bunch of people around this circle that like verify her
vouch
story.
Or
they
not.
vouch for her, vouch for him. We never know. There's there's obviously this Lord, what is it, Lord what Dung?
Yeah, Lord.
They're in the story. We have other people who probably know the situation. It's not like I highly doubt that these two people dated for like 8 months and nobody knows about anything that's happened with them, or maybe they haven't vented to each other and no one's talked about it. We're going to see a bunch of the people come out over the next.
There's
days.
way too many people implicated in this story.
Yeah,
especially with the time frame that this comes from, 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
that was like the commentary community was like a massive place. So there's probably like dozens of people that were tangentially related to the story that will have information that will be relevant to that whole thing. So wait and see, relax everybody. Just, that's just my message for this video. Chill the fuck out. Okay. Wait.
Just wait. Yeah. That's all I really have to say about it. So I think that's a pretty fair summary.
Well, folks, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like. Stay tuned. We'll be covering the story and following it very closely. Other than that, take care, everyone.
Yeah.